Today is the 17th of Friday, August 2019. And it was perhaps, it started off since the 2nd of August. I started signing myself into a little vacation like I always do. Every year I find myself going under every 6 months and then coming back up the other way. Into the finest moments of density called hell, in such a way that I would like to experience that I've never had before in other ways, to better understand humanity and the enslavement systems and the service to other systems, and what exactly it is in the reality that, okay, oh, well, maybe I could lose weight, and yes, I can. I can absolutely do it. If I start with the physical exertion and, lifting boxes, creating walls, emptying big trailer trucks, and going on conveyor belts and whatever, for parcel systems, and finding out that, okay, lifting over 70 pounds and muscle weighs more than fat, and, all this stuff. And ideally, it was great. I mean, getting paid to work out. And then, in the long term, within 6 months to a year, I could perhaps, if I chose to last, yes, it would be absolutely 100%. I would lose 50 pounds and be great and feel good and say, yes, this in truth is exactly what I'm saying, and promote my book and everything else since myself. And it absolutely has nothing to do with diet. It has to do with living in what reality we choose to live in. Okay? And this experience for me has made me realize that, okay, enough is enough. And I entered into a world of extreme male-driven world in the physical, where I found myself that, yes, it is a parallel reality, like we are, and we choose different realities to exist in quantum, and this is how we can go into other realities based on whatever it is, our beliefs, our systems, our morphogenic fields, the masses of this world, religion, everything has a play in the variance of these quantum realities that we can shift into and join in. And so I found myself in this place where women, again, do not exist, where in procreation, okay, they are transgendered males that once were women, now become males, and are no longer interested in women because they're not women, and that testosterone, whatever it is that created them to be, now they're the ones who are procreating with the males. And so there is no reason for that feminine in service to that enslavement of Jesus Christ or whoever that male figure that it is as God. So, to the extremes, this is the reality, one reality that I could never possibly imagine would ever be as a future reality as our world. So this split of another parallel quantum field does exist, okay? And me trying to push on the matriarchy, and it's time that we evolve and all these things, well, that's another world. And then there's the artificial intelligence, yes, and you wonder, why don't these people get the robots? We're in a world where, why not use the robot? Because in that world, it's all man. It's all oriented around that hormone called testosterone. And in many ways that we are living in this world, in this reality that we're living with women and equality and human rights and all these things, well, for the most part, I found that even to rent out my unit and my apartment is that all of a sudden Craigslist comes up with this discrimination thing that you cannot just say safe space for women and only women. Some transgendered female, male into female, started complaining, and now they have this discrimination where you can't say that. You have to allow men in the picture too. So we've had this invasion and infiltration. That's fine. But what it's doing, it's pushing out the feminine. It's not allowing that expression to be. Even with the females now who are straight and procreating, breeding with males and having a good time, and they're being promoted, empowering women to succeed, and women's clubs and all these things, that the men are there. And it's like, and they're advertising and saying, yeah, I belong to a women's club. And it's like, yeah? Show me this club. I want to join in a women's club as a man. And so it's really broken right through to showing it for what it is. But at the same time, it's the men who are promoting the women, okay? But they cannot find that feminine within themselves. They might within, if they have a family and they procreate with that woman and they have female versions of them as daughters and as, sisters. That was the balance. That was the integration. That was the balance that we were all wishing to achieve. But at the same time, it's a patriarchal system. Okay, so what this patriarchal system is doing is not accepting the true feminine aspect. It's accepting its own recreation and imprinting images of their own version of what that false matriarchy is. So here we've been living with this thing, and it's been, even the toxic side, we're getting rid of the toxic side, because the toxic side of patriarchy leads to this 2 weeks that I've experienced, in the sense of trying to lose weight and getting paid for it instead of going to a gym, that I found that I was the only woman there, and, amongst, the workers, and that it was all testosterone driven, and it was all lifting over 70 pounds, which they can get robots to do, so it's beyond my understanding. So, the transgender aspect of it was to kind of, women aren't needed, so you become a transgendered male, and then you start procreating how this agenda was trying to be pushed on me from the age of 15 years old, and now I'm seeing it for what it is, and this is why it's had its influence on me, and why I decided to dive deeper into that reality to better understand it. So I'm pushing it away, and I'm talking about 3 different realities here. And so the world that we're living in, that I thought that, the opposite of that, which I was pushing on the matriarchy, because I'm here as a woman, and so there's nothing wrong with to have a matriarchal system, but within all these systems, we're individuated systems, energetic systems. This is what we are, and we have to somehow try and blend in and work together. But what I'm realizing, it's not really about that. It's about service to self, not about to others. So when we start realizing this, it's like, wow, okay, so I'm not going any further into this. And what I've realized is that the men aren't really caring about, this feminine side. It's about taking as much as you can from the woman and just using her vessel. And then that's it. And that woman is not allowed to be a real woman. And when she has to give it all up to the man and be in service to that man, who is enslaved to this idol that is being worshipped across the world called God. And so, again, my book was about, the sovereignty of being a sovereign being and finding that light, which is the awareness to know these things. And so I have been experiencing, and I had to experience that side of it. And not that it really matters, but in truth, matter is that imprinting that we do on others from our awareness, and into the physical world, that we must organize as a system and work together and agree upon certain things, right, for this reality to work for itself and us.